Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Coffee Pro Friends. Today, we are going to be talking about the fact that solutions are coming, but there's something to be done before the solutions to the coffee supply chain can be implemented. All right, bear with me. I promise, yes, I'm crazy, but I'm the right kind of crazy. So listen, I'm somebody who leads by example. So everything that I've been pondering after the really intense last couple of days after that the video had been shared, I was thinking about, well, what can I do to implement and encourage change in my business before I can ask anybody else to implement change in their businesses or in their careers? What we've got ahead of us is some serious work. And as I said in yesterday's podcast of the Daily Coffee Pro and the day before, we can't really implement any real change before we understand what the real problem is. And we don't. We don't really know how complex the problem is and how big it is. We just know that it's big and we know that it's complex. And because we don't know what the nuanced complexities of all of this are yet, we don't really know the extent of the solutions that are going to be required to make the changes. But there are some things that we do know. We do know that at the front end of the coffee supply chain, we haven't been doing enough to give the farmer a face. And so, on Monday, we're going to launch a campaign to change that. But before we do that, what I want for you to do is you have some homework. What I need you to do is I need you to find out who the actual farmers of the coffees that you're serving or selling are. And I don't just mean like, oh, it's from the Guji region of Ethiopia. I want you to find out who the farmers are. I want you to gather all the information that you can. And I want you to go to the extent of finding photos of these coffee farmers. This is going to take some time and it's going to take some digging. But in order to do that, what I would recommend is that you contact the person who sold the coffee to the roaster. If you're not the roaster, contact the roaster. Tell them that you would like information on who this farmer is. Now, there are a couple of reasons that I want you to do this. And the main reason you're going to have to stay tuned for. Keep your eye out on the Elixir Specialty Coffee Instagram. There's a link to it in the show notes. Because as I said, I'm going to lead by example. I'm creating a hashtag that will help us actually give the farmer visibility, but it's going to require all of us to get on board. But that's not the real thing here. If you want to understand what kind of traceability is around your coffee, so what kind of traceability the roaster and the green importer can provide you around the coffee that you've got, ask them for the information. Ask them to tell you who the farmer is and to provide photos or Instagram accounts for these farmers. A lot of them will be able to do it. Some of them won't be able to do it. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're buying cheap coffee or expensive coffee. As long as the farmer's getting paid a fair price for it and the farmer's okay with that price, it needs to be celebrated. Either way, we need to get the face of these farmers in front of the customer that's drinking their coffee. And so your homework from now until Monday is to contact whomever it is, in your supply chain, whether it be the roaster, whether it be the green buyer, the importer, whomever it is, contact them and start gathering information on who the coffee farmer is that owns the farm that grows the coffee that you're selling. I've said in the previous 2 or 3 episodes of this podcast that this is going to take a lot of work from us to contribute what we can to fixing this problem. And it is. This is just the first step. Giving the farmer a face that our customers can see and start somehow building a relationship with is a very important first step to doing that. By giving the end customer visibility, they will start to accept that there are humans whose hands grow this coffee. We have to put a face to the people that are growing this agricultural product that we are selling, because without them, without the farmers that grow this product, we don't have an industry, and we've been letting them down. In the 15 plus years that I've been a coffee farmer, in and around everything that I've done, there's always been this consideration of origin and making sure that a certain price is paid. But I'm ashamed to say we've never really tried hard to put a face to the farmer. And it's important that we finally do. We have to stand up for these guys. By guys, I don't mean men. I mean the people who are growing our coffee. I didn't mean to be gender specific there. If we can't turn shit around for them, we're not going to have a chance into the future. I do want to address a couple of other things while we're here about what's been going on social media, and encourage people against making statements that they don't quite understand. And I understand why people are making these kinds of statements. It's purely because they don't understand what's going on with the supply chain. And that's fair, because a lot of us really don't. We don't understand the sea market. We don't understand what it does, why it's there, who it helps, who it hurts, all of that. But we need to stay away from statements like stop buying shit coffee, or stop buying cheap shit, or stop paying nothing for coffee. Like there are farmers that are selling cheap coffee that we need to buy. We need to buy it off them. If that's the price they want to sell it for, we need to help them move that cheap coffee. It helps them pay their wages. It helps them pay their debts. So it's not about the actual price per se. It's about the price versus the cost of production. And I in no way am saying that I understand any of this to any level of depth. On the podcast next week, we have 2 very special guests coming to educate us on this. And this is huge. We have Felipe Croce coming back. Felipe is a coffee farmer. His family have an exporting business. So they grow, process, and export the coffee on their farm and neighboring farms in Brazil. So that's that part of the supply chain taken care of. But the part that we've never had on the podcast is someone who actually trades on the sea market. And we are very, very lucky to have Stephen Bannister from Ecom, one of the largest movers of coffee around the world, coming on the podcast to break down the sea market for us. And I've been in conversation with Stephen. I tell you, I want you to reserve your judgment of the big players for a second and just come at this conversation with an open mind. This isn't just our industry. This isn't just for the specialty industry. We're but 1%. Like, we're a tiny fraction of the coffee that's sold around the world. The majority of the world's coffee is sold on the C market. And these guys lose when coffee isn't done well. They don't want to see this industry fall apart. They have a vested interest in being a part of the solution. Come at this with an open mind, guys. And Stephen doesn't have to do this. Ecom don't have to let him do this. He is coming on here to explain the C market, warts and all. We're going to have a very frank conversation. It's going to be insightful. It's going to be enlightening. It's going to be uncomfortable. We're not going to agree on a bunch of stuff. We're not going to understand certain things, which is why there's different people from the supply chain that are there. Okay? And so that's the first of the conversations that are going to be had on this podcast about this subject. And it's going to be huge. It's going to happen. It's happening on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 7 a.m. Sydney time on Wednesday morning, and 6 p.m. on Tuesday evening in Brazil. So I'm hoping that helps you with a couple of the time zones that you might be falling into. To prepare for next week and moving forward, and your role that you can do now, right now, today, to start preparing yourself to be an active participant in shifting the woes that coffee farmers are having. I want you to go and find out who the farmers are that are growing the coffee that you are currently selling, and the coffees that you will be selling in the future if you've already got the grain. This is going to be really important. It is something that you can do starting Monday, that we can do as an industry, as a united front, we can do to shift shit quickly. Okay, we're going to leave it there. If you're not following us on social media, please head to @IMapItForward on Instagram. You can follow me @LeeSafar on Instagram. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. One last thing, actually. People have been asking me how they can support the podcast. I really want to say thank you, first of all, for all the love that I've been getting on social media for what I've been putting together. It really does mean a lot. It's been exhausting, but a labor of love. I'm very passionate about all of this. And so for people who are asking how they can support the podcast, we have a workshop that is happening. It's a webinar. It's happening on the 15th of June. Early bird tickets for that webinar are available until the 15th of May. You can head to mapitforward.org/events or click on the links in our socials on Instagram, and you can see the link to that. The workshop is Barista and Beyond, mapping a successful 10-year career as a coffee professional. If you would like to support Map It Forward, that is a wonderful way that is a win-win for you and for me. Early bird tickets are $53. You will walk away with a 10-year career map. It's a 3-hour webinar. It's interactive, and you'll have over a month to watch the video, and you'll get an hour's worth of question answering time from me every day for the period of time that the video is available. That right now is the best way that you can support this podcast, and I'd be very grateful if you did. We really do need to start selling tickets to this webinar, and you can attend from anywhere in the world. You can attend live or you can attend afterwards. So I really appreciate all the love you guys have been sending my way. It means a lot, and I think we're all on the same page. We all want to fix this. It's just we haven't known how to until now. And I'm really grateful to have this platform, Map It Forward. so that we can bring intelligent conversation together. I'm excited about the conversations that are going to unfold over the next couple of weeks and into the future. And I'm excited about us having some real change with regards to what we're going to do to repair the coffee supply chain. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.